The latest big real estate market isn't on scenic coastlines or in major cities. It's in the Metaverse, where a growing number of investment firms are spending millions to acquire digital property.
Insane.
Owning land now in the Metaverse is a little bit like buying land in New York 250 years ago.
Metaverse real estate isn't all that different from property in the real world. It just exists digitally in 3D cities where users can simulate real-life pursuits like shopping, playing games, or attending virtual concerts.
There are houses that you can walk into, there are shops that you can go into and buy things. And this real estate in the Metaverse is increasingly for sale.
The idea behind investing in digital land is that once you own it, you can make money by developing virtual property and leasing it out.
We bought it because we want to do something very big there. We want to do something that's immersive and exciting, and in order to do that, you have to have lots of space.
Of course, digital real estate is still considered a very risky investment.
You
So what
think?
exactly led to this virtual land boom? And what factors make it so valuable?
Sotheby's.
Yeah, that's crazy.
This is such an
Right
emotional
now,
roller
the
coaster for me
Metaverse
because
is
I
an
feel like I'm
evolving
missing out on
space
something.
that
The other
comprises
part of me is like,
multiple
man, this is adult video game.
Yeah.
All right, so dude, that's the Metaverse. That's the real estate in Metaverse. It's an adult Roadblocks.
Yeah.
Do you know what that is?
Yeah, it's what my kid plays.
Exactly what your
Yeah.
kid plays.
I've never.
So-
he tries to get me to watch him play it, and I'm like, dude, I don't understand.
Oh,
this.
very
I
well.
do that too. Like, oh, I'm in
Yeah.
a pet shop. Look, I'm like,
I'm like, Daddy likes you and likes what you do, but I don't understand this, bro. Like, you just have to do
I'm
it.
watching the Meekin auto auction.
Yeah. Well, that's
Fucking
why I don't
live
understand
auction.
about this. Why? Okay, people and companies putting millions and millions of dollars into digital real estate online, and I don't understand.
Colton was born in the 90s,
Colton.
and that's why he's here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess.
Go
So
ahead.
what you said a second ago, why wouldn't you just make another one?
Yeah.
Right?
That's my question.
So think about
They
it this
build
way.
this. Hold on. They build this thing, this platform, it's like a web address. So they have like claim to it. No one else on the internet, whatever Web 3.0, can use this space in the ether out there, right? Why can't you just make another one? Web 4.0.
Yeah.
Those guys, I'm not paying them. I'm not buying that. I'll make my own.
I'll tell you why. Where is all the attention? Where's everybody at? What is-
YouTube.
No. No, so think about it this way. So you have Hollywood, you have California, right?
Yeah.
So all of the, a 800 square foot house at $1 million, right? Well, why is it so expensive?
Because it's in Cali, people want there, the demand's high.
So there's areas in the world that are the same climate, same weather, same type of thing. Why doesn't somebody just rebuild Hollywood? Why doesn't somebody just rebuild California?
You've seen this on a YouTube video,
No,
this
I'm just
explanation.
making shit up. Like,
Alright.
but like seriously,
Because you're just saying the area is so.
that's where
there.
people want to
The
be.
demand.
That's where people want to be.
The demand.
And
Yeah.
the
So why
infrastructure
would you
is there.
just another thing people say about JPEG, like NFTs, right? I'm
Yeah.
jumping ahead a little bit, but like you buy a crypto punk for $1 million, 400 grand. Well, why wouldn't you just copy and paste it and you could just have it on your own computer? Well, you don't own it. It's the same thing of taking a selfie in front of a Lamborghini saying you own it, but you don't have the title. That's not yours.
I'm missing something still.
Yeah, I don't understand why, like, what the value is
Yes.
for people in this digital real estate. Like, where's the real tangible value?
So, for example, somebody tried to explain this to me this way, like how you have a deed to a property, it's recorded at the county, and the county enforces your ownership interest. The government basically is supporting you, saying, you own this piece of property as outlined in this deed. We're recognizing it, blah, blah, blah. So with the example of the NFT and the cyber monkey punk, whatever it is,
Yeah.
I don't know. Some of them look ridiculous.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like I'm like, I could draw that, and I draw like a third grader.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So what out there, you put it out there, like I own this little monkey, this
Yeah.
little picture of a monkey. I say copy and paste that mofo and we can do whatever we want with it. Who's gonna enforce against me saying you don't own that, he owns that.
Yeah.
Steve owns that, not you.
the blockchain.
Yeah, the blockchain's like the recording, like the analogy of like the deed
Yeah.
recorded at the county.
Well, it's the same thing.
So
another
everybody
way-
knows who owns it because it's
Yeah.
all out there. It's public information,
Mhm.
right?
Another way I look at it is like the difference. Like, what's your favorite like designer clothes? Or like like something Louis
Gucci,
Vuitton.
baby.
Gucci. All right. It's the difference
Wow.
of buying Gucci from the
Levi's.
the shopping district in Los Angeles.
Mhm.
Like it's a rip-off fake.
So it's
Yeah,
just
so
all, it's all just
It's
a
the
perception.
authenticity. Yeah, it's the
None of it's
perceived
real.
value.
It's just a perceived value.
Well,
Well, there's other things too that we can get into.
hold on. Let's stay on this real estate thing inside the metaverse first.
Yeah.
Well, I want to hear, like, I said something to you the other day, and you're like, dude, it's real. It's happening. Like,
Well-
yeah, I know it's happening. People are putting millions of dollars into it.
Right.
I just think like people are gonna look back and be like, okay, that was a huge scam mistake. What is the real tangible value marketplace that this thing has?
Other than
So
inside people's brains.
There's some things that
Trying to
are
find
in
the
the
video.
cryptocurrency and why that matters. I think right now that's not directly associated with that. That like you purchase these things with cryptocurrency, but I think a lot of
Is that right?
A lot of experiences.
You buy real estate in the metaverse with crypto?
Yeah, bro, you don't hook your Visa up to it.
Yeah.
You gotta have a wallet or exchange. You gotta have all kinds of
Yeah.
yeah. Which is so there's there's a really really good explanation. So and I was and I read about it a while ago in El Salvador. Have you heard of the volcano bond?
No.
Okay, so we'll talk about that later. But it's the decentralization of money, not being able to track the money. And even like the internet now is regulated, it's heavily regulated, it's heavily censored. And the whole point of how they built everything with blockchain and Web 3.0 is decentralizing it. There's no way that they've built the whole thing, and blockchain and data mining and all this crazy shit is built just to decentralize. Like everything they do, they make sure there's no regulation of any of the information that flows. So going back though with NFTs, a lot of what those do is they're going to serve as passes for like ultra high level masterminds, and then there'll also be like user experiences. You have to think with coronavirus and COVID and all this stuff that's happened, and the way that now you're gonna have to show, I mean, you got to show a vaccine card or a COVID test to go to a Michigan State game. The country of Australia, dude, the prime minister, whoever that was on the news today saying, if you're not vaccinated in the country of Australia, you have no purpose outside of your home.
Not even
You can't
for
go to work,
nothing.
can't go get you can't do shit in Australia if you're not vaccinated. You serve no purpose. So now you're going to take all these
serve no
experiences,
purpose.
That's what they said.
Literally.
That was verbatim.
Yeah.
So if you think about it, so now you have, so say you have a monkey with pink boots NFT, right? They sell 1,000 monkey with pink boot NFTs, right? So you own this NFT. We can't leave your house. And now, like, what's going to happen with concert venues going forward, right? Like every time there's a new outbreak and bull. So what'll happen is you use your NFTs, and if you own an NFT, you're given an opportunity to see a virtual Justin Bieber concert. Or you can go to a mastermind where maybe you've got $1 million NFT where only people that have spent $1 million on an NFT can go to these investment masterminds and have a place to put your money and invest these things, and nobody else knows about it unless you have these NFTs.
But the virtual Justin Bieber concert, you're talking about a little guy that you make, like a little Roblox guy.
Yeah.
And then an avatar.
I'm not saying it doesn't feel weird to me. I'm just telling you, like,
I just don't believe in it.
The problem
I think
is
it's all horseshit.
The problem is
I'm
that
with you on
today's
Dude, it's ridiculous.
Like, dude, tomorrow's ultra wealthy.
I can watch
people
Justin
are
Bieber on
entirely
YouTube.
different than what they are today.
For sure. It's always been
It's
that way.
going to be an entirely different world. And this, because what was Web 1.0?
That was like dial-up.
That was like Kazam, or what was it called? LimeWire, that destroyed your computer.
Prodigy,
like,
dude.
all
There
the
was Prodigy in
bullshit.
like
Show you guys
94.
Like that. This is the next generation of the internet and what user experience is going to be.
I know, but what I'm saying is, going back, I'm going to show you guys this video in a second. And my problem with crypto and NFTs, I'm going to show you something in a second, which is why I have a huge issue with it. But let's stay in the real estate side for a second. Like, why are these companies, in anybody's opinion, I don't understand. They're talking about having real estate agents in the metaverse, like selling real estate. And I don't understand why these companies, like these huge companies, are putting millions and millions of dollars into digital land. And Bill hit it. Like, why couldn't you just, the value of real property is supply and demand, because it provides provides shelter to humans. You know what I mean?
You can live on it.
You can live on it.
You can grow food on it.
And there's supply and demand, right? And so in here, the supply is endless.
Not necessarily.
Bob at freaking anywhere can be like, oh, I'm creating a new land.
There's a finite amount of
the currency to
when
buy
it's
it.
built on the metaverse, for example, Facebook's metaverse that that they're creating Meta, right?
Yeah.
Well, as a user on Facebook or in the metaverse, you can't just say like, "Oh, I'm going to expand the metaverse." Like they have.
What's going on over there?
The
my shit was
constraints.
just blowing up too.
The
Wish this was my wife or something. We could answer it live.
But there's constraints, right? Like, so yeah, anyone can. You got to have a lot of fucking money and be really smart to go out and build your own metaverse.
So there's natural limitations.
Like it's
we
like
can't,
saying this. Why
we can't build
would
an
everyone
island.
be
Like
on
somebody
Facebook?
out there could build an island, but we can't.
Ultimately, here's what it's experience. It's going to be, because you're saying like you can grow things on real estate. Well, now, you know, a lot of people get their groceries. It's on the old Amazon, so you don't need your land. Like people don't give a shit about that anymore. They don't care about a garden because you can get harvest fresh. This is all experience, and the next way things are done.
Right.
For user, everything is user experience now.
Yeah.
But my question is, I'm talking about
Why do you buy real estate in the metaverse?
Well, I'm talking about kids that play Roblox, right? Like,
Yeah.
you're telling me right now, you're going to put the money that you earn in real life, millions of it, into digital land in the metaverse?
I haven't made that decision yet.
But that's my point. Like, that's
I'm gonna wait and see approach.
That is the part that I'm having a tough
That's
time
what I'm
with.
saying. That's
so
where
when
that's
this Wall Street
what am I
Journal
doing?
video
Like,
was
what am I
so
missing?
good. Like, these huge companies are like, we're putting millions and millions of dollars into this. Watch. Go ahead, Cole.
Why do people spend millions and millions of dollars
On a diamond ring.
shifting?
I'll tell you
No,
why.
listen. Let me just put this point. So, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, right? Where would people spend money to advertise?
Online.
Newspaper.
Oh, you're talking before that.
Yes,
billboards,
absolutely.
TVs. Okay, why people still do that? But why are people spending billions of dollars on
Google.
YouTube ads,
YouTube.
on Google?
Eyeballs are
Attention.
absolutely.
So that's another main point too. If everyone's going into this metaverse, that's where their attention is. That's where they're interacting. That's where they want to be.
So that makes sense. The advertising piece. Watch like one more minute of this. Watch, because they talk about that.
Yeah.
This I can make some sense of.
I understand the attention aspect.
Listen.
These digital spaces appear cartoon-like, while others feel like virtual recreations of the real world. Andrew Kegel is the CEO and co-founder of Tokens.com.
He looks sus.
An investment firm specializing in cryptocurrency and metaverse real estate acquisitions.
Land in the metaverse looks a little bit like a monopoly board in that you have these parcels of land and you want to try to acquire as many parcels of land on the monopoly board.
There are only a few platforms where investors can buy and sell real estate.
So that's another point there.
Can I just invest in those companies?
Yeah, you could actually.
Wait, hold on. Go ahead. Yeah.
That's another point there. Why wouldn't someone just copy and paste and make their own piece of land? Well, unless you have billions of dollars and you can recreate your own metaverse, you can't. It's like playing. What have you played any video games? Like,
Yeah, of course.
Okay, like
No,
Grand
he has
Theft,
not.
Grand
He
Theft
has not. He has
Auto.
played like
right?
Golden
Yeah,
Key.
absolutely.
All right, Grand
Yeah.
Theft Auto. Okay,
Yes.
so it's just like
Never
going
played in my
into
life.
Grand Theft Auto and saying, well, why are people following the story and why wouldn't you just go and like click a button and go get a bunch of currency in the game so you can buy all the cars you want? Well, because the game's not set up like that. Right? Like, you can't just click a button and then get what you want. And you can't just click a button, copy and paste.
But my
every piece
counter
of
argument to
land.
that is, let's look at Grand Theft Auto for a second. Like,
Yeah.
you can get money in there and you
Yeah.
can buy shit, right?
Yes.
But we're not talking about taking your real life savings.
People do. People
Not millions of dollars. They're
Not millions of
$10,
dollars. Yeah.
$20
Yep.
to have
To
fun.
unlock features of the game.
We're talking
Yeah.
about investing
Right.
millions of dollars to try to get a return.
Mhm.
That's what I'm
It's
concerned
starting
with.
to make a little bit of sense to me the way you're explaining it. Like, so it's basically like access to the internet. I feel like pieces are coming together in my brain, and I'm starting to see it. Keep talking, Cole.
Well, listen, hold on, watch this. They're gonna
I'm
talk.
not saying I
Continue to
agree with
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So
Out
check
of
this
these
out.
weird words.
With their own
Part of it, my problem is like I don't know what blockchain
cryptocurrencies.
actually means.
We're gonna get into that.
The
Conceptually.
platform has a limited number of parcels available for purchase, which is tracked using blockchain technology. In November, Republic Realm, a firm that buys and develops real estate in the metaverse, said
beautiful.
it paid $4.3 million for land in the world of Sandbox. It's the largest digital property sale publicized to date.
The whole reason why it is a store of value is because at the outset, each metaverse platform declares exactly how many parcels there will be. So they would be cannibalizing the value of their own holdings if they continued to mint more and more of it. So that
There's your supply and demand.
tenet of
Yeah.
scarcity is what gives the category value.
Be heard
That's
of words
fair.
As
like
in the physical world,
What here?
location is a major factor to consider when buying digital land.
Areas that are busier or have more visitor traffic, like the downtown areas, the parcels of land that are for sale there would be worth more than those that might be in the suburbs. Once you have this parcel of land, you can use various programming tools to create things like an amusement park, a casino, a museum.
Dude, there's
You
just
can
a
build
dancing
whatever you
turtle.
want.
So this is,
Am I
hold
supposed to
on.
betting
This
that
is
the
almost
division-
like the Metaverse is like GoDaddy, and they're selling you like the web addresses, and they're hosting it. Is that?
No.
It's beyond that a bit. It's a little beyond that.
I know. I mean, I'm trying to dumb it down so I understand it.
Yeah.
I think it goes back to the like how this thing gets monetized. That's the part that I'm having a tough time. I'm not debating like what you were
That
saying.
things are going that way.
Yeah, well, and I'm not debating Web 3.0 of like the 3D experience. I think that's all going to be. I'm talking about the monetization of this entire platform. That's what I'm.
in the real world.
It's
Yeah.
still super early and speculative and
Yes.
risky.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, because the eyeball thing, like they're saying, if you like this guy, this dude's talking about building. He gets into it in this video. It's so good. He's like, we want to create this downtown area like Beverly Hills where we have all the best shops and all the best shit, so people's attention goes
Gravitate
there,
there.
and then it's advertising.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you're
what do you do there if you own it? Like, how does that? how
Nothing.
does
It's all
owning
about
that generate
advertising.
revenue. Yeah, it's just-
advertising. So you and me and everyone that's going to the Metaverse, going to his downtown,
Yeah, yeah.
it's all the ads.
Yeah.
Yep.
That to me makes sense.
Well, and even beyond that, it's like why would people spend? Let's take it from this conversation of these big companies spending millions and millions of dollars to Bill in 2 years from now when he actually knows what he's talking about and he goes and buys a pair of virtual Nikes. Like, why would you do that, right?
Okay.
Well, it goes back to like why, Brandon, are you wearing a Rolex right now instead of a Fossil watch?
I will tell you why.
Yeah.
That's my whole thing. This is very simple.
Yep.
This is a supply and demand issue.
Yep.
Fossil watches are very, very easy to get. Go try to get me this watch. Impossible. So that drives the value of the thing up.
Right. They make 10,000 Fossil watches a day.
Dude, they don't make this at
And then
all.
going into the Metaverse, when Nike says, hey, we're releasing a pair of V1 Virtuals, the first edition, there's only going to be 10,000
Exactly right.
That's exactly, even beyond like that's because you're a smart businessman. Some people who
Well, maybe.
you're
I get
smart,
it.
right?
Yeah.
You flip cars. You've done well on your cars, your watches. Someone buy a Rolex because it's a fucking Rolex and it's cool to have a Rolex, right? Like some people might, a lot of people do that.
But there's real tangible value.
Yeah.
Like we follow an app.
store of value.
What's the app that we all have?
Chrono 24.
Chrono 24. There's real value in the marketplace.
Yeah.
This is all speculative. We don't know if like these people putting millions of dollars into this crap and crypto and all that. It's just like huge.
Can I show something else as well?
I'm going to show you something too next.
So this is a minute clip that is on Twitter. I'll send this to you if you want to play it.
Yeah.
But it's talking about this is kind of jumping ahead. So
yeah, it's on Twitter.
Getting into I'll send it to you. Getting into cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, let me pull this up.
Let me text it to you.
Yeah.
Because this is talking about the evolution of because one big topic right now is regulation in cryptocurrency. Big deal. I keep swearing. Big bleeping deal.
Yeah. You're gonna make the monetization of this video go
we're
way
gonna
down.
have to bleep some of this out. I just texted it to you.
All right, hold on. Let me go to messages.
And by the way, if you're trying to get into the Metaverse, crypto, NFTs, you have to be on Twitter.
All right, really?
Oh my God!
The developed countries in our
So hold on,
fragmented
pause.
approach to
So this is just talking about like the regulations of because there's this whole debate right now on there's a big lawsuit on one of the major cryptocurrencies, XRP. They're suing the company Ripple who created XRP, and they're saying, hey, you sold this as a security without registering with the SEC. Yeah. And there's a lot of unclarity around are cryptocurrencies securities? Are they currencies? Are they assets? And so this is a big topic in Congress right now, and the unfoldment of regulatory clarity and frameworks. And so
listen to you.
I know this guy just shit on us.
I know.
Anyway,
all right, listen.
It's so funny to watch these boomers talk
one more
about
thing.
it.
The reason
Is unclarity a word though? I mean, that was a fucking good tirade. But is unclarity a word?
Unclarity. It's unclarity.
Unfoldment.
Goes back to what you said.
I don't think unfoldment's proper
It's like
English
very
either.
risky and speculative right now. It's like we don't know what's going to happen with this, right?
I love watching the
Play the
boomers
video.
try to explain and figure it
among the
out.
developed countries in our fragmented approach to regulation. So when I hear people talk about the idea that we need one regulator for crypto, I would say we should first have one regulator for banks, but we have 3 of them. Or if you're an investment bank, 5 of them. So that's inherent in the system that we've got. What I say to that is the last thing we need to do is add another regulator to a system that's already got dozens of regulators. What we need to do instead is have parity for crypto activity along with traditional finance. If I'm a crypto lending platform, I should probably be regulated by the FDIC. If I'm a crypto trading platform, I should probably be regulated by the CFTC and SEC. But somehow we treat crypto because it's new
Here's what I wanted to
as
show you.
different from everything else. And I'm going to argue that crypto is just a step function improvement in the system. We already have a regulatory system. The laws are super clear how it works. But there's something about crypto that scares people. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just because it's new. But I remember in my banking law class when banks were first allowed to use computers to keep ledgers, people sued over that at the time. I remember when I was a second-year lawyer and we got email, and the ABA said lawyers couldn't use email because it would travel over this mysterious network of computers. These all seem ridiculous today, but it seems like we haven't really learned the underlying lesson, which is technology usually advances human flourishing. We have a regulatory system. Let's use it.
So that was, I
That
should have
guy's
just done it to
awesome.
the end, but
Mr.
like,
Brooks.
you know, they're talking about, Mr. Brooks,
Yeah.
about email and like all this stuff. It's like, these things are going to happen whether we agree with it or not. And I'm not saying what's right or wrong, but it's like,
You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube.
that's
That's
true.
what they always say.
Yeah.
You know, something interesting I heard too on an explanation with cryptocurrencies is, so remember the GameStop thing? So remember the GameStop, like the meme stocks went up and then Robinhood shut everybody down and you couldn't sell your shares of the stock that you own.
Yeah.
Problem is you don't own those shares. And the way everything is regulated, all these broker houses, you own a claim to that share. And that broker house can either acknowledge your claim or they can deny your claim on whether or not you want to claim your portion of the money back. And they control that 100%.
Yeah.
Right? So you don't own, like back in the day before we had all the regulation, everything we have now to keep markets stable, like you would buy a stock and you would get like a certificate of your ownership of that company. You can't, I bought Alexis a share of Apple stock and I tried to give it to her and they're like, you can't get the certificate anymore. That's the difference with crypto though, is that there you can buy and like you 100% own your own coin and that goes up and down with the market. So there's a finite number of them, just like there's a finite number of shares of a company and they go up and down based on supply and demand for that particular asset. And you own that asset 100%. You can sell it when you want. You can buy it whenever you want. You can do whatever you want with it whenever you want. And it's 100% deregulated and decentralized. So you can't.
I mean, that appeals.
There's
to
no
me.
Uncle Sam there to say like, wait a
broker
minute,
middleman.
Wait, all the guys that have shorted this stock that are huge investors with us, like our JP Morgans and all these places. If we let the stock run up and everybody dump it, right, and then make a whole bunch of money, these guys from Reddit, then our big guy JP Morgan loses, right? We don't want to mess up them filing any claims to investments with us. So let's protect them, screw the little guy, deny their claims, and let this thing come back down, and then we'll give you your money back. So that's the thing with like new money. So you got to think. So all these people, like the people on Reddit, aren't like 50-year-old bond fund managers and pension fund managers. They're young. They're the new era of financially savvy young people, and they're like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Like, we can't take our GameStop money when we made a bunch of money off a thing on Reddit. Like, we'll just go put all our money into crypto and we'll do what we want with our money. And we don't have to pay
with Dogecoin,
Tom, Dick, and Harry to pay their fees and all these SEC. We'll just do it through this blockchain and in the cryptocurrency market. And there's nobody there to regulate. Like, the whole thing's built against regulation.
Yeah, but the problem with that is this. Talking about young investors, watch this. This is going to blow your mind.
They started a business that is now worth over $15 million. For this to make any sense, we have to go back to November 20th and explain how Fluffy Coin, the strange crypto that I created in order to convince people not to invest into meme coins, has completely spiraled out of control. People put this coin on airplane windows, stickers on cars, in the snow, on a billboard, in a big body Benz. Yo, be easy. Thanks for let's run it back.
Island boys.
If you haven't watched my 2 previous videos on this topic,
this is crazy.
Just forgot, let me quickly recap what's been happening. So in a video I uploaded on November 20th called Make $1 Million Meme Coin in an Hour, for the sake of conveying to people why they should be incredibly careful with all these meme coins that have been popping up lately. Oh, we went to 0! Yeah! I showed how easy it is for someone to create their very own crypto tokens. This was after the whole Squid Game token scam.
This is insane.
During a time when a lot of these sketchy meme coins were popping up. So I felt like making this video would be very beneficial, given that before making this video, I myself thought that there was a technical knowledge that stood as a barrier to entry for people to create their own crypto Dogecoin type thing, which honestly made me trust these things more than I should have. But in this video that I made, I found out that you can literally copy and paste the code for a token with zero coding.
Watch, $15 million in one day. Fake coin.
Out the name for it,
He sold millions of dollars in one day. Watch.
tutorial and was able to do it very easily. In the video, I also explained a marketing strategy for something like this that can work with social media engagement for your coin's pages. This will give people the impression that there's a strong community behind it, and so people will be more likely to buy in. I thought it was a good video. The underlining message was very clear that you should probably stay away from these things because just about anyone can make one and say that it's the next big thing.
Now, Bitcoin could be displaced by a hamster coin.
I love when the old white guys are up there trying to figure it out.
That I made to show people why they shouldn't be buying into this kind of thing. To the point where it reached $1 million market cap like in the first day, I believe. It got listed and you could now view it on CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko, and even on Coinbase. I didn't do anything with this coin after the video went live, but people built a whole community around it.
He made it up.
Requesting all these coin tracks.
Dude, the whole thing's
So here's my theory.
Different coins though too.
Dude.
When we have when regulatory clarity, which I think is going to be this year because it's been going on for the last year, 99% of those coins are going to go away, and you're not going to be allowed to do that.
You know how many millions of dollars been lost though?
Doge
Yeah,
and
that's
Shibu?
exactly why.
It's speculative. I mean,
well, that's my whole point.
Risk. Well, there's risk in any investment. You could buy a
This
whole
shit's
bunch.
It's
You
fake.
could buy a whole bunch of GameStop stock.
Yeah,
and,
but
and
GameStop's
have
a real
all
company.
Of your money in that, and then you could have
It's
that
way
company
different.
say you can't have your money.
That's way
it
different.
happened to Dave Portnoy.
That's
Same
way
thing.
different than this little internet kid just building a coin one day and like, fuck it, let me just steal all this money.
I really believe that's going to go away.
That is different. It's and again the same. There was no reason for GameStop stock to shoot through the roof. That was only because people got on the internet and a whole bunch of people said buy all this stock to fuck guys out of it that were shorting stocks.
I was on it.
I know. I'm having a really and maybe like I'm the I feel like I'm the old
the
guy
boomer.
now.
Yeah, I know. That's
and
what I
like
feel
you're like I'm having a tough time accepting this metaverse, real estate, digital Roblox, like putting all right, we're gonna take money out of like my stocks and all my investments and all my stuff, and we're gonna put it into Roblox. And here's $10 million of my invest. I'm not gonna do that.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm okay. I'm fine. I don't like you talk about the fear of loss, the FOMO.
Yeah.
I don't have any fear.
Well,
I don't want any coins, no dojo coins, whatever the fuck.
I got lots of coins.
Well,
Dude,
the problem is you're thinking that you're going to take your entire investment. You're saying like, I'm going to take my $10 million and put it in there. People are putting $10 million in cryptocurrency probably have $100 million.
I understand.
Right.
I'm not putting any.
Like it's just a piece of a portfolio to have. Because it may or may not go up. You should still have it.
So you're under the belief, your position that you're taking on crypto, NFTs, and I want your take on this too, and the metaverse is that it's gonna be a real thing. It's a real return.
It already is.
Yeah, you already can.
Well, because you're still riding up the momentum of the excitement of the newness. Like it hasn't been enough time for it to be.
Bitcoin came out like 20 years ago. It's not that new.
2010, 2011.
I'm also looking
that was
at a lot
Ethereum.
of that is 20.
Google it. 09 maybe.
Yeah, 09.
I was in law school when it happened.
Something like that. But I'm looking at if you look back to history repeating itself.
Yes.
Look at the .com boom and 1999 2000 boom like. Stuff.
What are you talking about? .com boom?
Yeah, the .com.
That was even in the late 90s.
Well, yeah, late 90s, and then it all crashed.
Yeah.
What happened in, I can't remember, like 2002, 3, 4, something, came back again.
Yeah.
And that's something like this might happen again, because like it's kind of just now on the hype, the upwave. There's probably going to be a crash because people don't know what they're doing. People aren't educated. They're going to just throw money.
It's got to settle and like whatever survives will be the thing.
So when you like my whole philosophy on cryptocurrencies and investing, I'm not trying to. And if you want to have fun and see what happens and you take a little piece of it, cool. Go ahead, like a little 2-3% of whatever you want. Have fun with the Dogecoin, see if something happens. But in terms of putting any real money into that, my personal view, I'm only investing based on utility. Does the currency, does the asset that I'm looking at have a real world utility? Right?
Tell me more.
That's what I'm looking at. I'll give you an example. Let's look at what digital currency is going to have a real role in playing is the transfer of money. Okay, so right now the way we transfer money.
How smart this guy is.
I know.
He's way smarter than both of you guys.
The way we transfer money across the world, across borders,
that.
is through a network called SWIFT. Have you guys heard of Swift?
Yeah.
And that's a messaging based system. So essentially, the way to relate that is like sending somebody a message literally via snail mail. Okay, whereas digital currencies is going to be like sending an email. Sending money in a second. And when I'm looking at just that as an example for a utility, like cross-border payments as a real-world utility, I'm looking at currencies that are, what is going to help facilitate this in an efficient way that's going to make money for bankers? Like, what are they going to want to use? And just that as an example.
So which one should we buy?
I can tell you what I'm in, but
Ether?
That's a great example. So Ethereum, someone just posted this on Twitter, and the gas fees for Ethereum are all up and down all over the place. They had $20 in their Coinbase wallet. They wanted to transfer it out.
Okay.
The gas fees, the cost for
Were
them
more
to
than the
transfer
20,
were
yeah.
$600.
Yeah.
$600. There's not a lot of utility in that for long term for massive scale.
Yeah.
And so, like as an example, I had this.
Well, they got Ether 2.0 coming.
They've been talking about that for years and years, and they just said it's going to be delayed another year.
Huh.
So anyways, just looking at stuff like that, like utility.
So what about Bitcoin?
Bitcoin is slow too.
All right, let's watch.
So what do you want, Cardano?
That's a good one. XRP. I love XRP.
Let's watch
Ripple?
our boy Patrick Bet-David for a second. So he talks about, is cryptocurrency the world's greatest Ponzi scheme?
Love PBD.
Okay, I just want to watch a little bit of this. This hedge fund guy on here is really good.
Ponzi scheme. You know the word Ponzi came about. There was a guy named Ponzi. Okay, so cryptocurrency has been called that. A lot of things have called a multi-level marketing has been called pyramid scheme or Ponzi.
As it relates to just that token being used, it's cross-border payments. People get on the ledger, they send money. There's an app, a developer independent of Ripple called Spin the Bits, and it's spending Bitcoin, where he uses the XRP ledger as a layer 2 solution to the Bitcoin network problem, right? It takes 10 minutes at the low end for Bitcoin to an hour for the transaction to go on the ledger.
Instantaneous.
Ripple's XRP is instantaneous, 3 to 5 seconds. And when you had Kurt on here and he said, Bitcoin is like 7 transactions, BTC and
1,500.
Ether is 1,500. Ripple XRP,
1,500.
the token, 1,300 per second transactions. And fraction of a penny. I can move, I've watched it, I can move $2 million worth of Bitcoin for a fraction of a penny using the XRP ledger.
Can you just
As
pee?
you said earlier, the technology
You get a real problem.
awesome.
I do have a real problem.
Okay.
It's absolutely, in my opinion, the superior tech as far as the network.
You can't even buy Ripple right now, can you?
XRP. You got to buy it on the right
is ahead of
exchange.
the game.
That's where you win. You win there. That's my opinion. I may be wrong, but I think you win by me needing to use the product. If I use the product, it validates that it's not just an investment.
Here's the problem, though, guys, right? And this is the beauty of decentralization, and this is also, this is where decentralization lags behind. Who's the Patrick Bet-David of Ripple? Who's moving the company forward from a marketing perspective? Who's out there creating the infrastructure necessary? Who's got the user interface?
So
They're talking about the lawsuit with the SEC and Ripple.
Okay.
That's what they were talking about.
So, which is what exactly? Like, what's their position on that? Yeah.
Whose position?
Well, what the basis of the lawsuit?
So the basis of the lawsuit is the SEC is saying that Ripple, the company, sold XRP to investors as an unregistered security.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Right. Which, you look at everything. So that's why, like, when I'm, again, going back to utility and like what you should invest in, when I'm investing into a coin, like when I looked at XRP 2 years ago, when I first started investing in it, I was not trying to say, at first when you're doing research, like, why should I buy something? Like, what makes this? And then I flip it, why shouldn't I buy this? Let me find a reason not to buy this. Like,
Which I like. I like that.
Why wouldn't it work in the long term? And I'm telling you, I couldn't find a reason to not buy it looking at a 5 or a 10-year period where it's at compared to where it's going to be. I couldn't find one. Just based on the real world utility of what it's going to do with where everything's going. And so, like, that's kind of what they're talking about right there is like the real world utility and the value of a network. They're talking about Bitcoin and Ethereum, how, it's slower transaction speeds and it costs more. And this isn't hey, I'll buy XRP, I'll buy Ripple, podcast, but just as an example of a real world utility that's going to solve.
I don't know. I mean, I still have a tough time.
I don't know.
The Ponzi, like I'm on the whole Ponzi scheme thing, and I could be wrong. I'm trying not to be closed-minded about these NFTs, but I just cannot see taking the money that I worked so hard for and buying an emoji or whatever you're supposed to buy. I can't make sense of it.
It's hard for me too.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
How do you monetize it? How do you monetize an NFT?
So let's talk about that. Let's talk about NFTs now.
Okay.
So you bought some.
Yeah.
So educate us. We brought the young guy in.
I want someone in Australia to use your NFT and have to pay you.
So, well, see, NFTs, I don't understand them enough to be like, here's all the different things you can do with NFTs, right? You brought up a good point earlier as a real world use case of an NFT. You own this NFT, it buys you membership into this mastermind, into whatever. One of the NFTs that I bought into that I thought was pretty unique. I don't care about it enough to be like, oh, I want this picture of this, and because a lot of people, I was more interested in something different, and so I bought into what's called a digital company. So there's a guy who literally recreated the algorithm of the stock market based on like the different attributes that companies have and what causes them to go up and down. He hired like computer scientists, quantum, like it's crazy, and he recreated a digital stock market, right? And he minted 10,000
using the history of the stock market.
Not the history, but the different attributes that go into companies that cause them to go up and down, and then looking at the algorithm that, like noticing patterns and what caused certain things to rise and fall. And so this is just an example of a project.
Like the Elliott wave principle?
Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah, stuff like that. He recreated that, and he put it into a data set, and he minted 10,000 digital companies. And so as an owner of those digital companies, another thing too, as a side note, when you're looking at buying an NFT, don't just look at it of like, oh, there's a big, have you heard of Discord?
Yeah.
There's a big Discord community of a bunch of people
Yeah.
who are going to buy this and hype it up, and then that's what happens when those meme coins happen. It hits a $15 million market cap in a few days, and the guy like him, if he would have dumped all the shares, it would have gone to zero, because he dumped all the supply back on the market.
But he would have had the cash.
Yeah,
right?
he would have had the cash, but nobody. It would have
All the investors
would be screwed.
Yeah.
So as an example, when you're looking at coins like that or NFTs, look at the owner of the project and what are they trying to do as a bigger vision with this project. So this guy's an example. The NFTs that I own, they're digital companies. It's called Blue World. He's literally creating an entire metaverse type thing. We're using Active Campaign for our email marketing software, right?
Sure.
He's creating an entire communication platform, texting, emailing, integrating with social networks for the owners of those NFTs to be able to communicate with their customers. He's creating this.
So that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
He's creting value.
He's creating a real network, real value,
That's right.
real utility, and that's why. I'm not saying it's wrong to buy a cyberpunk or a Bored Ape thing. Like it's just cool to have. Some people like it, and the demand of those is why they're so expensive.
I guess it's like grab me that Captain America, will you? So like this thing right now on the market, $7,000. I'm kidding. But your point.
I'm taking the big guy with white hair.
But I think your point is like with like baseball cards, right? That's kind of the same thing with NFTs.
Exactly.
So Gary Vee, he just put something on it.
Did you see he did $90 million?
I know, since insane.
On baseball cards?
Probably more than that in NFTs.
Who?
Gary Vee.
Oh wow!
So he's pointing that picture, right, of the he. I don't know if you saw the video, but I want your take on what he meant by this. You were telling me before we went on air about taking a picture. Are you bored?
No.
Okay.
He's got to pee again.
I know. You got to pee his phone. So
I'm out of
people are the picture thing, right? And they're standing in front of a building, and Gary takes a picture in front of the building, and he's pointing to the building. You know what I'm talking about? And he's trying to point give a point across of like the NFT you actually own. You don't own your content on YouTube. YouTube owns your content. With NFTs, you actually own the thing, and you were telling me off air how that works. So tell me more about like being able to prove that you own this thing.
Well,
blockchain.
It's blockchain. Yeah, well, it's blockchain.
It's blockchain.
It's $5,000, bro.
I mean, there's not much else to say besides that. It's like going out and taking a selfie in front of a Lamborghini and be like, yo, I own this, and then actually being able to drive it. So like tying all of this together, when you show up in the metaverse, right, and you show up in, this beautiful suit, pull those kicks up.
Oh yeah, get those up here, bro.
Is that the dirty one?
You show up rocking in these Jordans in the metaverse.
Those are the money fours.
You can't fake that.
Right.
You can't fake it. And
you can't fake this
But how does an
swag, bro?
emoji have the value?
Well, it's stuff like that. It's the perceived value. It's like why do those
supply and demand
beyond the collectible supply and demand part of it, right?
But I can put these on my feet and walk around with them.
Yeah, well, you could do the same thing in the metaverse
with an NFT.
With an NFT, yeah. Why
How?
do kids like Roblox? I don't know. Like,
well, yeah. Okay, so that's my point. In Roblox, they always want me to give them their $10 to buy shit on Roblox.
Yes. Why do they want that? Why?
I'll tell you.
Why are they?
Because their friends are out there.
No, because they can do stuff in that metaverse. They can buy wings.
And they get street cred.
That's the main thing.
I'm a VIP now. Like they tell me,
I get that.
None of it's real. It's
I understand.
Fake. It's just a game.
Yeah, it's a game. I understand the enjoyment of it.
Why are you so mad at fun?
Yeah.
I understand the enjoyment of it. The thing I don't understand is about like But why the world's trying to make this an investment? That's my issue with the whole thing. Go have fun.
Yeah.
I'll put a couple $1,000. You want to have fun on Roblox? Here you go, bro. Have some fun.
It's just the world we live in. It's all about money.
But isn't it, if you're saying make it fun but not an investment, but so a bunch of people did that. They made it fun. They're buying these digital pictures.
Yeah.
And guess what happened?
Everyone wants
your favorite thing. Everybody wanted them. There's only
wants
7 gorillas with purple feet.
Oh,
So now the value of the gorilla with purple feet.
There's only 10,000
Jordans.
You get it?
Gorilla with purple feet.
I mean, I get how the supply and demand aspect of like the individual
good.
NFT. Like I get that. Like, okay, I own this. There's only 3 like it. You want it? It's $2,000 now, $20,000 now, whatever.
Right.
I get that part. And like the flip, I just don't understand the utility and how you monetize it. Like when you own a rental property and you can rent it to somebody and they have to pay you every month, right? Whether you can charge them in Ether, okay, good. It's 1 Ether a month, right? I get that aspect.
Can you put him back up there?
The currency.
Be very, very careful.
But how do you rent out an NFT? How do you stop somebody from just sharing your NFT wherever, copying, pasting it, making one that looks almost identical, and claiming it to be theirs? How do you? I don't get that.
To use it you can make a copy of it and have that, but to use it in the metaverse, you have to. There's rights to it.
Let me show
so
you.
So am I wrong here? Is that the NFT is held in your wallet?
So
and
I'm
then if
pulling
you
up
want
my wallet right now.
show, you can show that you own the rights to that NFT, and it's not just a copy.
So
but how do you enforce it? Someone else is using it, and you're like, hey, I own that.
No one can use it. So look at as an example. So
this is what you
I'm
own?
just showing. I'm showing my Coinbase wallet here. It's not loading.
How much money you got?
Of course, it's not loading. It's
nothing
fake.
works in this building.
Anyway, it's the Wi-Fi. Anyways, these are the NFTs that I own, right?
Blue Company.
So Blue Company 2919. If someone goes out there and tries to say I own Blue Company 2919, I don't know when they try to do something with it.
Forgery,
whatever. But if they're trying to like have somebody send them money, let's say they want to sell Blue 9, they make copy and paste and they want to go and sell that.
Yeah.
So that's a real example, right? Well, they don't own this. They don't have the address on the blockchain of the wallet that it lives in,
so it's
so
like
they
a
can't
unique
sell it.
web address.
Exactly.
Nobody else can even
It's
get
a unique
to it.
ID.
Exactly.
So he owns the unique
and
ID.
the blockchain is like the code.
So
the
think about
blockchain
it.
is the ledger that keeps track of who owns what.
And everybody has
Everybody
access to
has
this.
access.
It's like the public record of the
So
internet.
he can go in.
I get that part a little bit.
Can't you? Isn't your wallet public? Can't somebody go and like? So you could be in the metaverse.
Yeah. Goggles on. Put that on.
You're all geared up.
You put a helmet on.
I'm not gonna do it. It won't fit my head.
Try it. I want to try it. Come on, you gotta try it. You gotta put it on.
It's
Get into the metaverse. Put that thing on. All right, now you're in the metaverse. Now talk to us.
I'm in the metaverse.
All right, so now you're in there.
Now I'm in. I forgot what the fuck I was talking about.
When you get into
so you can go on there and click. I can go here, and I can click on Colton's wallet. And I can see all the shit that he owns. So you could go in there and be like clicking on
see his eyes.
I know, it's great.
that aren't worth anything.
Wait. Leave that on.
You gotta keep that on.
You're coming out of the metaverse now?
Is this thing electric?
It's talking to you.
Oh my god. So, but the thing is, you
eyes
can
are
just click on random wallets. So you could click on one and be like, oh, this guy's got $1,500 in his wallet. Or you can click on another wallet and have $4 billion in it. And you can just see somebody's balance of shit that they have.
Go find me on Coinbase then.
You can.
Well, I don't know. I need to know your wallet ID.
I
So
don't
You
even
just,
know
but
that.
you just click on
address.
random ones.
Yeah.
I don't even know that.
Yeah, so it'd be on your if Bitcoin goes to like $1 million one day and you're worth like a couple
I have 0
million,
Bitcoins.
You have what you said you own some
Ethers.
you own Ether.
Yeah,
Okay.
I got like 10, 15
So
Ethers, 13.
How much money? How much money you got in those?
There was like, well, today it's like 50 grand, but like 2 weeks ago it was 75.
No, how much money have you put in?
Oh, 15-ish.
$1,000.
Yeah.
And how much have you put into this thing?
Over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Total probably around 40, 50 grand.
So he's got to be sitting on a
Man,
quarter
it's
mil in crypto.
Son, I'm so upset with you.
Yeah.
And what is it worth right now?
So right now,
Put this in context. You put 40, 50 GZs in it. What is it worth?
So keep in mind,
I can tell you what it is right now, $1.75. But a month ago it was a quarter mil.
I've been taking profits. So I'll give you an example.
You peel some off the top.
Peel some off the top.
Yeah.
Last year, at one point, I think total invested I had probably around 30 grand.
Okay.
Right? At last year, at the peak, at the all-time high.
Yeah.
It was worth just under 200.
Yeah.
Shut up.
No, it's
and
10x.
But here's the thing again. It could go to 0 tomorrow.
Yeah, it's so volatile.
I don't care. I'm not.
It's
here's
part of his
another lens.
portfolio.
It's part
Yeah.
of, here's another lens. Like for the long term thing, I'm looking at it from a perspective of like, if this goes to 0, is it going to affect me? And if I can't touch this for 3 to 5 years, am I going to be okay?
Right.
Like any investment, to be fair.
Right.
That's fair.
And so I'm not
Do
day
you
trading.
need the cash? Do you need the cash now? No, then just leave it.
Yeah,
So
and,
any
and
investment
if
is, though.
be willing to lose it. Like, be willing to lose it.
I'm not tripping on it. I watch it go up and down all the
Right now,
time.
it's probably worth, well, I don't want to get into all the deets, but.
What do you mean? This is
Well,
what the show's
he's
about.
He's willing to ride the waves like you would.
Well, yeah,
you don't have to get into these.
And buy the mother dip, bro.
Yeah, buy the dip, load up.
No,
load
don't.
up.
You can't be angry at the. This stuff does not take anger.
Colton gets the joke because that's what people always say. They're always like,
Well,
buy
I
the
know,
dip.
I know that's what they say, but you can't say it
You gotta
aggressively.
hodl. Buy the dip and hodl.
So that you putting the numbers for me, like, I don't know, maybe I'm just stupid,
Here,
but that
so
helps me a lot.
Let me tell you something. In 2017, I dumped $2,000 on a whim. Like, my boy Ty, shout out to Ty Philly. Like, he called me up. He's like, bro, you need to buy these ethers. I was like, the
Bill's the
fuck is
only
an ether?
grown adult I know that all of his friends still have nicknames. He's like,
that's his legal name, Ty
Puffy
Philly.
and Soda Pop and I were all down. We're all riding the car.
I know.
Got some macaroni
Ty-
and cheese.
his
I'm
name
like,
is
you have
Ty.
a friend named Soda Pop still?
B knows him.
I know.
Whatever.
That's his
Sorry.
government name,
Sorry.
Ty. Anyway.
I got you.
So he was like, buy these ethers. They were like $160 at the time, right? And I was like, for what? What am I gonna do with these things? He's like, just drop a couple grand into them and thank me later. So I was like, all right, we'll see what this guy, is talking about. So I threw in like $1,800. I bought like 10 of them, and it 10x'd or like.
It's worth 18 GZs?
Yeah, and so I peeled off some. I was like, shit, let me take my money back.
Take your.
And then I forgot about it. Then it crashed to like nothing. You know what I'm talking about. In like 18, it was like nothing, and I forgot about it and just left it alone. I woke up and checked in like 2021, and it was back up like to like 20 grand, and I was like, well, I'm gonna dump some more money, and so I threw like another 5 in, and then it was up to like 40 grand, and I was like,
what?
Shit, I'm like, I'm gonna dump another 5.
Yeah.
So, but it kept getting more expensive.
You're a little
So,
junkie. You should have pulled a bunch of that out.
Yeah.
well, whatever. Anyway, so it was up to like
Bought some
75
Roblox
grand like a
stock,
month
yeah.
ago. You know, when it peaked, the last all-time high, and I've got like under 20. I don't really know exactly. I have to look back in all my purchases. So it was like a 4x, and I've already pulled my money out like a year ago. 2
That
years
makes
ago.
sense to me. Why can't we start with all this?
Here's something else.
Well, you had a curriculum.
Yeah.
You were like, we're not talking about this, Bill. We're talking about that, and then we'll talk about your thing.
That's how I did it?
Yeah. See,
So
Colton's
going back-
laughing because that's
Going back
true.
to Colton's thing, though, so that company that you're buying the NFTs for, so they compiled a bunch of data and they're doing something with it, right? So this company is like creating something with all this data they've compiled.
Yeah.
Well, what's to say, like, he's buying the NFTs, so shares, right? Your NFT is a share in that company. Do you guys see my eyelid
No, my
twitching?
NFT.
My eyelid
I'm
twitching.
still laughing
That's
about
that shit, that's
soda
that
pop.
shit you drank before the show.
My
it's been
NFT,
doing all day.
Dude, that
the
soda pop was
NFT
what
is the
Biden
company.
said, right?
That's
Oh
what
my
I mean.
That's why it was
So
even funnier.
So if that company, if they sold that company, then your NFT would be sold, would have value in that sale?
No, so let me try and think of how to
Good
explain
conversation.
Yeah, it's fun.
So, talking about supply and demand, right? So he created 10,000.
Who's he?
George, the founder of the soap
Got
opera.
it, George.
Of Blue World. He's called yeah, literally his name's
Yo, no, George!
I don't know George.
He's a smart mother
Bill
trucker.
doesn't know him.
Okay.
I definitely don't know.
Anyways,
I know Satoshi.
Satoshi. Yeah,
Satoshi?
Satoshi isn't
Yeah.
a person, by the way.
I know. It's a
Bill doesn't-
enigma.
Another
It's
fake
the,
name.
it's the CIA.
It's a shell game.
Yeah.
If it was Bill's friend, it'd be like G-Pox company.
So wait, what was your question again? What were
I
you-
don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, I was saying if George wanted to sell Blue World, does your NFT in Blue World go with him?
Do you get bought out?
No, because I
Like a
own it.
stock.
That's the difference with NFTs. There's so there's Ethereum, there's the XRP Ledger, there's the Bitcoin network. There's different networks. I own that
Bitcoin Cash.
Bitcoin Cash.
I got some of those.
Which is a peel off of Bitcoin. I own that digital company on the Ethereum Ledger,
Okay,
on the
got
Ethereum network. So it doesn't matter what they do with that project. Like I own this NFT.
Okay.
You
got it.
know. Yeah.
Well, anyway,
It's definitely interesting.
really interesting.
Yeah.
Well, why don't I mean? So, is there people like advisors, like investors?
That's what I want. I want a
No.
Colton just tell me what
Me
to
too.
buy.
That's what I'm.
No, there's
You gotta
Tell me
go
what's
Wait,
good.
hold on. That's what.
Doyer, DYOR.
So how my mind thinks, I'm like, okay, well, how can you monetize a service in this new crypto metaverse world? Real estate agents in the metaverse, right? We could be there's a real estate company. I'll show it to you guys in a second. I'll pull it up right now, actually. But like, is there advisors that say, hey, give me your money, I charge you 1%, 2%, 10%?
Yeah,
And
I follow a guy. I don't work with him, so this is a massive shout out. But his name is Jeff Kissinger or something. I'll have to figure that out. But he has a fund with cryptocurrency,
Like a mutual fund?
Like,
Like, just give me your money and I'm fucking
Well,
with it.
it's like Grant Cardone, right? He raises all this cash, buys real estate, gives his investors a return.
Right.
Well, this guy, raises the money, invests into certain digital assets,
Projects.
and gives his investors a return.
Look, so this is
What's the return he promises?
pretty good. I don't know what he
10%,
promises,
20%.
but they've done really well.
Metaverse property, bro. We're in the wrong brokerage business.
Yeah.
The world's first virtual real estate company. This is like the Zillow on Metaverse. You can look at all the properties for sale and shit. Look at this. So you go here, boom, buy land. I want to buy land in the central land, right? And it pulls
up somewhere warm.
Look,
bro.
it pulls up all the listings.
Yeah.
What it has in there. That's a cute farmhouse. You can go farmhouse. You can look. There's vacant land. You can build shit on there.
Oh, you can build on them. I thought it was Pac-Man.
These are all buildable.
Oh,
yeah,
very nice.
And you know what we should try to do? You know what would be hilarious?
So how do they
Listen,
make money, monetize
we
that?
need
They
to
charge you a commission or something?
We need to put my dad on video and try to explain this and sell it to him.
Oh my god! You're going, what the is wrong with you guys? So anyway, let's wrap this up. I mean, it's going to be interesting what happens. I can't believe how much you know about this. Like, we're going to have to get back on the show.
I mean,
why don't we all go in on a
piece of land?
Piece of land.
Well,
let's
I'll do it.
Let's document it. I'm in.
I'll throw a G on it, and then that's it.
Yeah.
Bill, you're in on that?
Are you in on
we
this?
probably need a lot more than that.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
you
bro.
can't get like a cheap plot somewhere?
No.
It's expensive.
Like rural
We
Michigan?
got to hire a developer who builds your
Right.
real estate in there.
Yeah.
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 Well, let's buy a
That's the
let's
next
buy a
thing we're gonna
metaverse parcel.
More to come.
All right.